It's getting really bad for Melania Trump as her dark past is surfacing, and now Melania Trump is hiring a fixer. Yes, Melania needs her own fixer to deal with her dark past. Drip, 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 Melania. It's all coming out. Just take a look at this fixer in a moment, though. So what's coming out right now? Amanda Ungaro is coming out. She was one of Melania's close friends, according to Ungaro. She was the former girlfriend for a significant period of time of Paolo Zampoli. Ungaro came into the United States by one of Epstein's sex traffickers, Jean-Luc Brunel, who died of mysterious circumstances in France, allegedly died by suicide under the same very suspicious circumstances that people claim Epstein was, right, here in the United States. Ungaro was eventually kind of moved into this world where she met Paolo Zampoli when she was very young. She then started dating Zampoli at some point in time. They had a kid together. And they were together for a long period of time. And so she was all around Zampoli. Paolo Zampoli, you know from watching the MeidasTouch network. He's the guy who wanted to buy modeling agencies with Epstein. And Zampoli is the guy, according to Melania, who introduced Melania to Donald Trump at the Kit Kat Club in 1998. Zampoli used his modeling agencies to bring young Eastern European girls and women over who he said were models. And then these models would meet the wealthy Manhattan men at the Kit Kat Club at these parties that Zampoli would throw. Zampoli went on to become basically an ambassador right now in the United States. He got into a custody dispute with his former girlfriend, Ungaro, over their son, who's almost a teenager at this point. And then Ungaro alleges that Zampoli used ICE in order to expedite her getting deported. Zampoli denies that. Melania denies she has any connection at all with Epstein and that all the photos and emails are all fake and you shouldn't believe any of it. But here's the types of stuff that Ungaro is posting. And this is why, again, I'm just giving you my opinion in this video as protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. So if you don't like opinion speech or the First Amendment, you could turn off this video right now, because my disclaimer is I'm exercising my First Amendment right under the Constitution in this video to give you my opinion speech. Everybody understand? Everybody understands. Got it? Good. Okay, so this is the type of stuff that Amanda Ungaro is posting. She's posting things like this. Until you fall as a little chicken. Then she's responding to Melania. I have nothing left to lose in my life. I will tear down the entire system. Be careful with me, bitch. I will tear down your corrupt system, even if it's the last thing I do in my life. I will go all the way. I am not afraid. Maybe you should be afraid of what I know, of who you are and who your husband is. We'll take legal action against you and your pedophile husband. I have known you for 20 years. You knew I was detained in ICE. You were present in my life every year on my son's birthday, even sending Secret Service and being the first to congratulate him back in 2016. Something was clearly wrong, but I am not part of any evil mission involving children. So what do you do, Melania? You tried to involve me, but you failed because I have character. Do you know what I think about you after 20 years? And then Ungaro said this about Bondi. Are you already aware of the situation? Do you fully understand the extent of the information that I possess regarding you and individuals associated with you? I strongly advise you to consider the seriousness of these matters. Any actions taken against me or attempts to escalate this situation could have significant legal consequences. Hello, Melania. I was around you for 20 years. You knew I was inside ICE, and you knew what hurts after all this time. I stayed close to your family, your mother, your father, not because of you, but because of them at events and everything else. So shut your mouth when speaking about me, because I will expose everything I know. And boy, does it seem like Ungaro knows a lot, and she's just doing a drip, 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 and that is torturing Melania right now. Now, Paolo Zampoli also is bragging that he's in the Epstein files. The guy who introduced Melania to Donald, bragging he's in the Epstein files. At least I was included, right? Because if you're not on the list, you're a loser, right? Okay, that brings us to the fixer of Melania. Take a look at this guy right here, Mark Beckman. This is Melania's fixer. Here he is right here. Here he is. He wears all black. He wears these weird black outfits. Mark Beckman, everybody. Now, what does Mark Beckman want everybody to know? This is Melania's fixer. Regarding the alleged incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, this is what Beckman says. Melania Trump was advocating to postpone the Correspondents' Dinner when officials convened in a side room after the shooting. The First Lady's exclusive senior advisor tells People that Melania pushed for caution and patience in the minutes following gunfire at the Washington Hilton Hotel. That's interesting, Melania, because Donald was posting photos of you smiling after the incident. Was this like a party for you? Did you find this incident to be very fun? Because take a look at you right there. By the way, right before the alleged incident took place, by the way, which wasn't near the ballroom area of the Washington Hilton. It was like in a totally different floor, allegedly, with all of this, with this incident that I've already talked about, all of the red flags there. Here's Melania. She's smiling. You think this is funny? I mean, how do you want us to take it seriously when this is how you're behaving? And by the way, I didn't take this photo. Donald is the one posting this photo of you right here. Oh, and then remember, right before the alleged incident took place, Melania was like given a note. Did you see that? Anyway, so Melania, this is a real article from her fixer. Mark Beckman, the exclusive senior advisor to the First Lady, tells People days after the shooting that Melania was calm, decisive, and in full control. When chaos broke out at the Washington Hilton ballroom and armed guards responded to the threat, Beckman says Melania believed the right thing to do in order to ensure everyone's safety was to pump the brakes on the dinner, regroup at a future date. And she was advocating within the room for that type of stand. She realized that it was going to take a while for the Secret Service to go ahead and carry through with their protocol. It was important for her to take the lead in that room and share her point of view. She realized that it would be in everybody's best interest, including the Secret Service, to take their time. Really, this is coming from the person who's now selling this thing, Vote Freedom, $600, while the regime in the White House, where she is in, is right now suppressing people's votes, supporting a fascist right-wing Supreme Court that has gutted the Voting Rights Act of 1965, passed on a bipartisan basis by Congress. Melania is selling a $600 gold chain that says Vote Freedom. So then this Mark Beckman guy, he's been her fixer. She needs a fixer right now, folks. MeidasTouch is reporting on Melania. She needs a fixer. This weird dude, this Mark Beckman guy. So Mark Beckman, this is what was going on end of last week. Mark Beckman goes on state regime media, and here's what he says. It's done. It's over. Jimmy Kimmel's done. Here, play this clip.
Well, he responded last night. What does Melania think about that? Is she buying it?
It's done. It's over. Jimmy Kimmel should be terminated from ABC. And I think ABC needs to determine, is this the type of person and violent rhetoric that it wants to affiliate with?
Then he goes on another right-wing national report, another one of these right-wing regime networks. Play this clip.
We can't figure out why Kimmel still has a job. What was her reaction when she heard that?
Well, I think initially the reaction is Kimmel needs to go. It's time that ABC stands up and terminates his employment. And this isn't a freedom of speech issue. The issue is purely commercially natured. Why does ABC and the advertisers want to stand behind Kimmel when over and over again, for such a long time now, he spews this hateful rhetoric, this political divisiveness? It's clear that his intent is not to entertain. He's not funny. He's not a comedian. He enters the homes of Americans every single night. 50% of them don't agree with his perspective, but yet ABC stands behind him.
Yeah. Then he goes on podcasts and he's like, do you get what's going on right now? Me think doth protest too much. Here, play this clip right here.
Kimmel should be fired. ABC executive management should fire Kimmel. This isn't a legal issue. This is not a constitutional issue. What I'm talking about is just pure commercial. It's purely about branding. Why on earth would ABC want to be affiliated with an individual that is spewing divisive political rhetoric every single night into the homes of Americans?
And then he goes out and he goes, if you do these stories on Melania, we are going to sue you. She's not connected at all to Jeffrey Epstein. You understand? You understand? Play this clip.
This is a serious person, and she's ready to create serious implications. All of those individuals, including people like James Carville and entities, including HarperCollins UK, that have gone out and spread lies about her. She has a team of lawyers ready to go, and she's going to keep attacking. She won in all three of those cases, and in all three of those cases, those individuals and entities were forced to publicly apologize as well as to retract what it is that they've done. And she's not going to stop. There's no reason for this person to stop fighting for her dignity. She hasn't done anything wrong. She's not connected to the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein at all. And she's going to keep fighting because she has a reputation that is impeccable.
Yeah, and as you know, apologies and retractions aren't quite as heavily covered as the accusations are right out of the gate. So you rarely hear too much about those. Last few months, though.
And there's actually some competition going on now for who's going to be Melania's fixer. So, but Mark Beckman is her main fixer right now. But you've got Link Lauren, he's trying to become her fixer. Link Lauren, one of the MAGA Trump sycophants who's always on Fox. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
Before the event even started, Jimmy Kimmel had made a joke about Melania Trump becoming a widow. That is absolutely disgusting, and they would never do that to a member of their own party. On CNN, before the dinner even started, S.C. Cupp, who I guess is one of the Republicans on the panel, she said, "Trump wants us dead. Trump wants us dead." And she followed it up by saying, figuratively. And I thought, he wants you dead? He's been the victim of 2 assassination attempts so far. I didn't know the third one was coming within the next hour.
And then Melania's team of fixers now are posting things like this. First Lady Melania Trump remains laser focused as she continues her mission. What mission? She continues what mission? What is she doing? What are you even talking about right now? I mean, and this guy is here. This guy. Just watch this clip. I'll throw this final clip of her fixer right here. And I mean, this is just the oddest guy in the world. But here, Rupert got a good clip of it. Let's play it.
Look, this is really a historic moment for First Ladies. It's clear that First Lady Melania Trump is changing the office of the East Wing into building policy and messaging into action. And with this new legislation, if they could push this landmark legislation through, she sets up a series of ways to protect America's children, specifically the foster care children, through areas in education, technology, housing, and beyond. And what's incredible is that our First Lady now has created legislation early on within the first 100 days, I believe. That was the Take It Down Act, which just had its first conviction last week. She created the Fostering the Future Executive Order, and then realizing that it's critical to make this permanent, to help our children in an everlasting way, she pushed this right through and started working with lawmakers in Congress to create this new landmark legislation. Mm-hmm.
Then you just see how awkward she was with the Queen at the White House tennis courts last week. Did you see that? Let's play it. And then finally, she's planting stories like this in state regime media, which calls itself Fox. Let's play it.
Melania Trump is going after Jimmy Kimmel after the late night host mocked her in a parody that aired Thursday before the horrific turn of events that unfolded Saturday night at the dinner. He called her, get this, an expectant widow, as if to say her husband had been murdered, assassinated, and this is the woman left behind. He thought it was funny. The First Lady posted this. Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. People like Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes each evening to spread hate.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think about it. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Weird stuff. Trying to cover up that dark past. We all know, Melania. We all know. You know what I mean. We all know.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.